Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are happy days. These days are share them with me. Goodbye, gray sky, hello, blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong.
Welcome to the cast, Then and Now, your ultimate source for the shocking transformations of your favorite stars. Subscribe to rediscover your idols. And now, let's dive in. Sunday, Monday, happy days. In the 1970s, America was desperate to escape the turbulence of the Vietnam War and political scandals, and they found their ultimate refuge in a nostalgic, sanitized version of the 1950s. Happy Days wasn't just a sitcom. It was a cultural phenomenon that defined a decade, gave us the coolest guy in a leather jacket, and made a jukebox the center of the universe. But when the jukebox finally powered down and the studio lights faded, the idyllic world of Milwaukee vanished. The incredibly talented cast was suddenly thrown back into the harsh reality of Hollywood. While some of these iconic stars leveraged their fame to build billion-dollar empires and win Oscars, others fell victim to the devastating curse of child stardom, spiraling into brutal financial ruin, addiction, and heartbreakingly tragic endings. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the legendary cast of Happy Days. Let's uncover the dark truths, the incredible redemptions, and see what time has done to our favorite 1950s teenagers. 1. Henry Winkler, Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli. He was the absolute epitome of cool. With a simple snap of his fingers, he could start a jukebox, summon a crowd of girls, and fix any problem the Cunningham family faced. Originally written as a minor, tough guy background character, his undeniable charisma forced the writers to make him the undeniable star of the show. Yet behind the leather jacket and the famous "I" catchphrase, the real Henry Winkler was hiding a profound struggle. He suffered from severe, undiagnosed dyslexia, and making it incredibly difficult for him to simply read the scripts during table reads. He relied on his immense intellect and improvisational skills to mask his reading difficulties. After the show ended, he faced massive typecasting. Hollywood refused to see him as anyone but the Fonz. Instead of giving up, he pivoted brilliantly into directing, producing, and eventually returning to acting as one of the most beloved and respected character actors in modern television, proving that his talent was far greater than a single iconic gimmick. Henry Winkler became unforgettable through Happy Days and Barry, where his leather jacket swagger, impeccable comedic timing, and hidden emotional depth made him the ultimate pop culture icon of the 1970s. Now 80, he joyfully writes best-selling children's books while winning Emmys for his brilliant modern television roles, balancing his Fonzie legacy with an inspiring, deeply respected career as Hollywood's kindest veteran. 2. Ron Howard, Richie Cunningham. He was the freckle-faced, wholesome, all-American boy whose innocence anchored the entire series. Having grown up in front of the cameras on The Andy Griffith Show, Ron was already a massive television veteran by the time he stepped onto the Happy Days set. But acting was never his ultimate endgame. Even while playing the naive Richie, he was secretly spending his weekends shooting short films and studying camera angles, desperately begging producers to let him direct. When the studio refused to take his directing ambition seriously, and he made the shocking decision to leave the #1 show on television at the height of its popularity. It was a massive gamble that paid off in ways no one could have ever imagined. He completely shed his child star image, stepping behind the camera to become one of the most powerful Academy Award-winning directors in cinematic history, helming blockbusters that have grossed billions worldwide. Ron Howard became unforgettable through Happy Days and American Graffiti, where his boy-next-door innocence, expressive face, and undeniable everyman charm made him America's ultimate television son. Now 72, he masterfully directs massive Hollywood blockbusters while running his powerhouse production company, Imagine Entertainment, balancing his Richie Cunningham legacy with his unparalleled status as an Academy Award-winning cinematic titan. And 3. Erin Moran, Joni Cunningham. She was the spunky, mischievous younger sister who grew up right before the eyes of millions of viewers. Fans adored watching her transition from a pesky tomboy into a beautiful young woman, eventually landing her own highly publicized spin-off. But the reality of her life off-screen was a devastatingly tragic Hollywood story. Thrust into the spotlight at a tender age, she was completely unprepared for the viciousness of the industry when the show finally ended. Struggling immensely to find work and break free from the Joni typecast, she spiraled into deep depression and substance abuse. Her final years were marked by heartbreaking financial ruin, resulting in the loss of her California home. She spent her last days living in a trailer park in Indiana, battling stage 4 cancer in complete obscurity. A tragic, sobering reminder of how brutally Hollywood discards its former child stars. Erin Moran became unforgettable through Happy Days and Joni Loves Chachi, where her spunky teenage energy, relatable growing pains, and infectious smile made her the quintessential little sister of the 1970s. Now 56 at the time of her passing in 2017, she endured profound financial and personal struggles while fighting a quiet battle with cancer, balancing her Joni Cunningham legacy with a heartbreakingly tragic end far away from the Hollywood spotlight. 4. Scott Baio Chachi Arcola, introduced in the 5th season as Fonzie's younger cousin. He was the classic heartthrob brought in to capture the teenage girl demographic with his signature bandana and effortless charm, and he quickly became a massive teen idol, dominating magazine covers and sending ratings through the roof. His on-screen romance with Joni was so popular, it birthed its own spin-off series. After Happy Days, he successfully transitioned into another hit sitcom, Charles in Charge, solidifying his status as a television staple of the 1980s. However, in his later years, his career took a drastic turn. He largely stepped away from mainstream acting, becoming deeply involved in reality television and shifting his focus to highly polarizing, outspoken political activism, completely altering his public persona from a teen idol to a controversial cultural commentator. Scott Baio became unforgettable through Happy Days and Charles in Charge, where his smoldering teen idol looks, confident swagger, and an undeniable magnetic charm made him a defining heartthrob of the late 70s and 80s. Now 65, he actively engages in outspoken political commentary while occasionally appearing in independent projects, balancing his Chachi Arcola legacy with a highly polarized public presence and a quiet family life in Florida. 5. Tom Bosley, Howard Cunningham. He was the quintessential American father, a hardware store owner who loved his family, his lodge meetings, and reading the newspaper in his favorite armchair. Before becoming Mr. C, he was actually a highly prestigious Tony Award-winning Broadway actor with an incredible vocal range. He brought a profound sense of theatrical gravitas and genuine warmth to what could have easily been a one-dimensional sitcom dad role. Long after the diner closed, he continued to be a massive television presence, famously solving crimes as Sheriff Amos Tupper in the legendary series Murder, She Wrote, and starring in the Father Dowling Mysteries. He worked relentlessly until his final days, proving to be one of the most reliable and beloved character actors of his generation. Tom Bosley became unforgettable through Happy Days and Murder, She Wrote, where his comforting fatherly voice, warm exasperation, and classic Midwestern decency made him the ultimate patriarchal figure of classic television. Now 83 at the time of his passing in 2010, he continued to work steadily in television and stage while enjoying a peaceful life with his family, balancing his Howard Cunningham legacy with his status as a highly respected Tony Award-winning Hollywood veteran. 6. Marion Ross. Marion Cunningham, Mrs. C, was the incredibly loving, apron-wearing housewife who provided the emotional glue for the entire Cunningham family, and she was the only person on Earth allowed to call Fonzie by his real name, Arthur. But behind the scenes, Marion was fiercely intelligent and deeply frustrated by the limitations of her role in the early seasons. She actively fought the producers to give her character more depth, comedy, and independence, ensuring that Mrs. C wasn't just a background prop holding a mixing bowl. Her absolute brilliance as an actress truly shined in her later years. She broke out of the housewife mold to deliver a critically acclaimed, Emmy-nominated performance in Brooklyn Bridge. and delighted a whole new generation as the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants' grandmother. Marion Ross became unforgettable through Happy Days and Brooklyn Bridge, where her sparkling maternal warmth, perfectly timed comedic exasperation, and hidden fierce intelligence made her the beating heart of the Cunningham family. Now 97, she peacefully enjoys a well-deserved retirement at her sprawling California estate, balancing her iconic Mrs. C legacy with a magnificent boundary-pushing career that spanned over 6 decades. 7. Donny Most, Ralph Malph. He was the practical joker, the guy who always had a snappy comeback, and the teenager who famously proclaimed, "I still got it." Originally auditioning for the role of Richie Cunningham, the producers loved his infectious energy so much they created the role of Ralph specifically for him. However, despite the immense fame, Donny was deeply unfulfilled, and he viewed himself as a serious, dramatic actor and felt completely trapped by the goofy, comedic constraints of his character. In a bold move, he left the show before its final season to pursue dramatic roles and theater. While he achieved success as a working actor, his true passion was always music. In his later years, he beautifully reinvented himself, returning to his first love as a highly successful big band jazz singer, touring the country and performing the classics. Donny Most became unforgettable through Happy Days and EDTV, where his infectious, goofy laugh, vibrant red hair, and impeccable comedic timing made him the ultimate high school class clown. Now 72, he passionately tours the country as a highly acclaimed big band jazz vocalist while continuing to take on dramatic acting roles, balancing his Ralph Malph legacy with his genuine love for classic swing music and theatrical arts. 8. Anson Williams, Potsy Weber. Potsy was the lovable, somewhat gullible best friend who was incredibly loyal and slightly clueless. He was also the designated singer of the group, frequently fronting the band at Arnold's Drive-In. Much like his on-screen best friend Ron Howard, Anson possessed a brilliant mind for the business side of Hollywood. Recognizing that his acting opportunities might be limited after the show, he spent his time on set shadowing the directors and learning the craft behind the camera. This incredible foresight allowed him to transition seamlessly into a massive career as a television director, helming hit shows like Melrose Place, Beverly Hills 90210, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Recently, and he even stepped into the world of politics, running for mayor in his California hometown. Anson Williams became unforgettable through Happy Days and The Secret Life of the American Teenager, where his wide-eyed innocence, beautiful singing voice, and lovable gullibility made him the perfect sitcom sidekick. Now 76, he successfully directs major television projects while actively participating in local California politics, balancing his Potsy Weber legacy with a highly lucrative career as a Hollywood director and entrepreneur. 9. Al Molinaro, Al Del Vecchio, with his iconic catchphrase, "Yep, yep, yep, yep." He was the lovable, sighing owner of Arnold's Drive-In, who eventually married Chachi's mother. What makes his story so incredibly inspiring is that he didn't even start acting until he was in his late 40s. Before Hollywood, that he was a highly successful businessman who made a fortune in real estate and collection agencies. He simply pursued acting as a passion project. Because he was already financially secure, he brought a wonderfully relaxed, natural comedic energy to the set. After the show, he continued to leverage his lovable diner owner persona, starring in countless lucrative television commercials and retiring as a deeply beloved, wealthy man who achieved the American dream on his own terms. Al Molinaro became unforgettable through Happy Days and The Odd Couple, where his weary sigh, lovable working-class demeanor, and brilliant deadpan comedy made him the ultimate television diner owner. Now 96 at the time of his passing in 2015, he enjoyed a lavish, peaceful retirement funded by his brilliant early business investments, balancing his Al Del Vecchio legacy with a beautifully lived life as a late-blooming Hollywood success story. 10. Pat Morita, Matsuo Arnold Takahashi. Before Al took over the diner, Arnold was the original owner, a brilliant, fast-talking martial arts enthusiast who brought incredible diversity and laughs to the show's early seasons. Pat was a seasoned stand-up comedian who shattered racial stereotypes on television. He left the show to star in his own sitcom, Mr. T and Tina, which unfortunately failed, leading him to return to Happy Days. But his greatest cinematic triumph was yet to come. Shedding his comedic persona, he delivered a breathtaking, profoundly emotional performance as Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, earning him an Academy Award nomination and immortalizing him in cinematic history forever. And he went from serving burgers in Milwaukee to becoming the ultimate spiritual teacher of the 1980s. Pat Morita became unforgettable through Happy Days and The Karate Kid, where his sharp comedic wit, incredible cultural versatility, and profound dramatic soul made him an absolute cinematic legend. Now 73 at the time of his passing in 2005, he struggled with personal demons but left behind an unshakable cultural impact, balancing his Arnold legacy with his eternal Oscar-nominated status as the wise and beloved Mr. Miyagi. 11. The jukebox at Arnold's may have stopped spinning, and the leather jackets may be locked away in museums, but the incredible memories these actors gave us will never fade. From massive directorial empires to heartbreaking Hollywood tragedies, the cast of Happy Days lived lives just as dramatic as the movies. Now, which of these iconic Milwaukee residents was your absolute favorite growing up? Let me know your best memories in the comments below, and if you love taking these nostalgic trips back in time, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay cool.